We have a problem. The mail. And no, not the package you've been meaning to send back to Amazon. Better hurry up. 30 days is almost up. No, I mean males. Hard fighting, burping, farting males. You know those beings that have an expiration date on its women and children first get out of harm's way free card? Those beings. They're lonely. They need some help. No one is on their side that's really worth a damn. Is Shu gonna be that savior? I wonder if Silver Age Shu would be interesting to watch. Let's see her swoop in. But we can take Golden Age Shu, which is cool too. What you gonna do? Likes and subs is welcome. With that, let's go.
I regret to inform you, the men are not okay. That's right, folks. The men are not okay. The men have no friends, no girlfriend, no college education, no money, are breaking their legs and inserting metal rods into their bones to be a few inches taller, and listening to AI Batman help them overcome their pornography addictions.
You deserve real love.
I'll be honest, if it's this bad, I'm just going to keep my addiction. I like Batman. I love Batman. I hate that he beats up henchmen who are likely poor as fuck, part of the system Batman and his family took part in. But I like that he beats up the henchmen because it's fun to watch and it's fictional. Wait, are we fictional? Hold on. All right. Losing the plot. Okay, but yeah, if it gets that bad, fuck that. I'm keeping my addiction. Sorry, AI Batman. I'm here to talk to you, Johnny. Don't watch that naughty stuff. Stop watching. Stepsister stuck in dryer. Actually, book that for me, Johnny. What? Do as I say, Johnny.
Turns out the society that was built by and allegedly for men has indeed let them down. Now you might be thinking, oh look, another boo-hoo poor men video by Shoe on Head. Yes.
Why are men and boys struggling? And what should we do about it?
A few new studies have come out that have shown that young men are more lonely and single than ever before. But it's not just men. The women and children too. It's predicted 45% of women will be single and childless by 2030. But according to the media, this is a good thing. The she-economy is booming, as they say. And meanwhile, men being single is treated like this.
New study explains why some single men are having a hard time finding a new partner.
Some of the music that they listen to speaks very derogatory.
Right. Yeah, man, stop listening to that derogatory music. Then maybe you won't be single. I don't know, I think men and women being single and lonely kind of shows there might be something wrong with society. Perhaps we should address this, not just wave it off as empowering or pathetic.
First off, what the fuck was the anchor even winking at? Like, this man is talking about men being lonely. She over here like, wink. What is the context? And second, yeah, it shouldn't be one extreme or another. Women do their own thing, as with anyone doing their own thing, can be good, but it can also be not good. And just because someone likes insert get off my lawn, you crazy kids thing here, doesn't mean that's immediately the cause. People like to simplify causes in life. Sometimes it can be one thing or it can be a few central things, but more than likely, it's a lot of things to a varying degree. But for real though, what the fuck was she winking at?
According to several different articles, I love how that's my source, I read about it on the internet, research shows that people from individualist countries show a greater sense of loneliness. This is linked to socioeconomic development, increased education, a shift towards white-collar jobs, and urbanization. Japan also has an issue with loneliness. In fact, they have a whole movement of people they call the hikikomori. Did I say that right? I don't care. Basically, postmodern hermits. Mostly young men who completely withdraw from society, secluding themselves in their rooms for months and years at a time. In 2010, there was an estimated 700,000 hikikomori in Japan. And today, it's estimated to be about 1.55 million. And because of things like this, people aren't having babies, so Japan's population has been in a sharp decline since 2011. It's gotten so bad that Japan even produces videos of live-action women staring into the camera to help the hikikomori learn to cope with eye contact and reintegrate them back into society.
Yeah, Japan is in a pretty bad state when it comes to its birth rates. I can't remember when I learned about the term hikikomori. I learned about NEETs from a friend of mine, but I can't remember hikikomori. Anyways, it's really sad. I'm a live and let live kind of person, but I don't want you to be a shut-in from society, if it's causing you mental harm at least. I really hope this isn't a real clip that Shu is using. This is just, it's like, it's embarrassing, it's sad, it's pathetic, it's heartbreaking, and it's uncomfortable. Like she's looking into my soul with this, Teehee, Anun-kun, are you coming outside today? Head ass. Ah shit, was that racist?
So basically, if you want to know America's future, look no further than Japan.
Hold the fuck up, hold the fuck up. Wait. Shu, I recognize this pose. I recognize this look. Hold on. Shu, why are you over here hitting the yes, dear?
Japan. A lot of people, including myself, blame this partially on the rise of social media and technology. RIP to the king. Although technology makes things easier, it can also make us more atomized. Why go to the mall when I can just tap, 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 buy a new microphone, and have it shipped to me in a day? Why hang out with friends when I can get all my social interaction I need from Twitter and streamers? Why go on dates and bother meeting women when I can just tap, 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 Google big boob and get 2 million results? Or see my high school crush's holes on Onlyfans for only $5. Instant dopamine, instant satisfaction, and hey, who even needs a real woman when you could just have an AI girlfriend? We're f***ed. We're so f***ed.
Hey, Shu says we're fucked. I say glass half full, baby. We just got laid. Haha. We're fucked. Yeah, those are big parts of it. Yeah, social media is a big part of multiple reasons. My God, social media is kind of a plague on humanity. Yes, I know I'm using it to try to grow. You don't have to lecture me on it. I know. That still didn't stop it from being a plague, though. Though it could mostly be the profit incentive aspect of it. But to me, social media is humanity getting too much of itself. And what I mean by this is the same way diabetes works. The body is getting too much sugar. It's fucking itself up and becoming insulin resistant. It's gotten too much of itself, and it's making us sick. Or at least the profit part is like the virus attached to the sickness. And I'm gonna convince you, you need to pick whoever looks like a supermodel the most. I'm gonna convince you that you need to be this popular or this tall for me to give you the time of day. Like, it's shit like that with social media. There's so many problems. Like, I don't think it's sustainable. It's making me really sick just thinking about it.
Dating apps really are the great Satan, and I'm convinced they've completely broken men's brains. Women on dating apps are picky. Women in general are picky, and I mean, naturally we are pickier. You know, we're the ones who carry the babies. At least for now. But on dating apps, you have to admit, it's a little insane. It's safe to say that the commodification of love and the window shopping of dating apps probably has to do a lot with the rise of lonely single men. Men are not just lonely when it comes to dating, they're lonely when it comes to friendship too. According to Vox, Americans are currently in a friendship recession, and men are being hit the hardest. The percentage of men who reported having at least 6 close friendships fell in half since the 90s. 1 in 5 men say they have no close friendships. Looking at all these statistics, the explosion of figures like Andrew Tate is not surprising at all.
I believe being a man is a blessing because it starts so difficult. I believe that every man is born without any value at all. I think that the world's never going to think you're important unless you make yourself important.
And recently, a new study came out about how young men are moving towards the right. And every other month, we, the liberal, sockdem, leftist, whatever you want to call the space online, performs the same song and dance. What's wrong with men? Why is this happening? Why don't we have a leftist Andrew Tate? We need to push men to the left. Andrew Tate rarely, if ever, talks about politics. Andrew Tate talks about men, and the left only talks about men when they talk about Andrew Tate. A few months ago, during one of the monthly song and dances, some progressive people I follow made the mistake of addressing men's issues, and the even bigger mistake of pointing their finger at their own spaces for not doing enough to address said men's issues.
Recently, there were some statistics by healthcare company Cigna indicating that men are the loneliest generation. And addressing it doesn't mean that you turn your back on issues pertaining to women, but it does mean that we should be focused on what it is in society that is leading to this epidemic, what the left can do to offer solutions, and how we can basically fight back against the more nefarious figures who have filled the void that men are struggling with, people like Jordan Peterson and what have you. Now, recently, Vosh, who's a popular streamer, had tweeted this thread that I think is really, really important to address. He writes, "I cannot stress enough how important it is to understand that 12-year-old white boys on Twitch are not being pulled into fascism because of some Machiavellian desire to preserve and expand their privileges. It's because the right talks to them and the left doesn't."
Hey, however you feel about Anna and Vosh, homies or homie deaths are right. It's the bare minimum. Red pillars and conservatives, for money, by the way. I'm not going to let you forget that. It's for money, not just to pay the bills money. No. For big money, for non-ethical money. Not all, but too many of them. And it's lucrative too. Of course it attracts shitbags. But they offer you the bare minimum, and that's better than nothing. Like with Andrew Tate. Tate talks about men a lot, or at least he used to, and offers them like level 1 shit. Nothing beyond that. I'm gonna basically hype you up and then send you on your merry way. Probably never to see you again, except for when you enroll in my bullshit ass course. But it's not just a guy thing. People lack more friends in general. Like everything becomes more isolated as time moves on, for society and for the individuals themselves. Look at it this way. When you're forced to wander around in the dark, you're more likely to move into a seemingly friendly voiced direction calling out to you. When the genuine people don't call out, or in many cases they scoff and shit on you, then likely, like any rational being, people are, well, men in this case, will move into the other direction. Like lefties be dogging men out. Not all, but enough of them to where it's a big problem. I made a video, well, videos plural in this too. Red pillars move them to the right, offers advice you can get from a fucking coloring book, and after that, good luck, fuckface. I'm about to promote the crayon-eating dipshit about to take away what little healthcare your dumbass got in the first place. Privileged lefty folks are generally out of touch. Now, don't get me wrong, though. It's not like a left or right thing. Anybody that's privileged in general, more than likely, you're going to be out of touch. That's just par for the course. You have no struggle, really. Or at least you have a more upscale struggle, which I would take at this point. Seriously, let's trade. But yeah, how these lefties treat men is just, it's fucked. They spent years punching up against men like, damn, I ain't got shit. Why are you targeting me like I'm Bane? Motherfuckers act like I'm General Grievous when I'm just trying to get across the street. And they'll be like, well, blame the other guys. They make you seem dangerous. Well, first of all, motherfucker, I'm not them. Imagine if aliens did this to us. They'll be like, geek glorp. And it translates to, we put you in a cage because some of you are dangerous, so you all get treated the same. It doesn't sound good, does it? It's pretty ass. It's really too ingrained in women's culture to be like, yeah, men are dumb. Men are stupid. Homer Simpson ass creatures. And I know guys, blah, blah, blah. They do the stereotypes for women too. Shut the fuck up. I'm not talking about that right now. We know that's true. We know it's true. It's all true. It's a human issue. God, I keep rhyming and I'm not meaning to. But guys, guilty until proven innocent is crazy. You got it in reverse. Take off the inverse controls.
The responses to these tweets and this content were very normal, level-headed, and respectful. Me when I lie. LMAO, cry about it. Boo f***ing who? Oh no, poor widow men having problems. Boo f***ing who? Grow the f*** up then. Have men considered being smarter? I'm enjoying all these sad little moids and their sad little tweets about their sad, pathetic lives. Sounds like a personal problem. Is the lack of compassion for men in the room with us right now? Maybe men are just not good people then. I'm so fucking tired of people trying to make male loneliness a huge societal problem. Yeah, no, their fifis are not my responsibility, and I shouldn't have to be punished because they can't get their shit together as human beings. Grow the f up. Why are we trying to win these entitled little predators over? The left isn't for them. That's why they go right in the first place. We're all lonely and alienated. It's young men going to the alt-right in droves. The problem isn't our messaging, it's them. It's literally not our problem. Men flock to Andrew Tate not because they're lonely, but because they're bigots. Hope this helps. Nah, it's just misogynists being louder than before and not getting laid. LOL. Cry harder, losers. 90% of all homicides recorded worldwide were committed by male perpetrators. We should just get rid of all males, to be honest. This includes trans women, as they still retain male violence. By the way, you know the Tumblr feminists who were like, all men are sexist and rapists, male tears, penises are evil, blah 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 back in the day? Well, this is them now. Should've just let me cook back then.
As sad and hilarious as this is, there's a lot to unpack here. So, let's start from the top. Hassan is not surprising. It's really not. Sad part is he could be the left's Andrew Tate or whatever. He could, but he don't have his shit together. He too busy being triggered by any small dissent and being in his own bubble. You got potential, you squander it though. Y'all make me Hassan. I'll use it properly. Big body and little head and all. If I became Hassan wealthy though, overnight I'd probably have a seizure first from no longer having to fight life for scraps. But after that, we good. I got you. I got y'all. But the fact that someone boo fucking hooed Shark, like Shark 3-0, who is consistently based. Please never do anything by the way fucked up shark. So this becomes awkward. Please don't. Please don't. I don't think you will, but I don't want to be like, insert person here is awesome, and then one day I'm like, ooh, this is But nah, shark in general is pretty fucking cool. Like, the male loneliness problem, though, is a societal problem. The same way women have problems, that's a societal issue too. I'm sure if it was a women's issue thing, that the accounts that are saying all this stupid shit, they would have the largest sign she could print up at Office Depot out front protesting, and rightfully so, because women issues are important. She's just wrong and stupid here. But damn though, can you even say toxic masculinity anymore at this point with all these toxic ass messages? Like, this shit here is so toxic, you need an iron dome around it, or an iron sheet can handle it. Like, calling all men a predator, like, that's crazy. You know, mom hormone baths made us, right? Like, she did that. Mother Nature did that too. That's two women involved in the creation of what you want to call a fucking predator. It's not even it's not even a bad thing that they're men either. Like, wait, what about trans men? Are they little predators too? Fucking no, dingus, because nobody's a predator if they haven't done anything to be called that. You fucking psychopaths.
Listen up, chuckle. I'm white, socially awkward, autistic, in my 40s, ugly, overweight, crippled, got a weird balding pattern, and have bad skin. You know what I didn't do? Choose to become a fascist, because I recognize most of the sort that look like me are the problem. I may be hideously ugly and pathetic, but at least I'm not a fascist. Thank you for your input, buddy. You're, really helping the situation.
I mean, that's good he's not a fascist shit stain, but Christ, man, that makes me hikikomori sad again reading that.
The reason young men flock to alt-right MRA movements is because the left gives brain-dead advice to young men. We need to be more compassionate to them, for our own sake. I'm sorry, but how is respect women brain-dead advice? What advice? Don't rape? Don't be a rapist is bad advice? Help, I have no friends or community, I feel suicidal. Have you considered not raping? Act like a decent fucking human being, it's not hard, is brain-dead advice? Brain-dead advice like, get consent and don't be a Nazi and women are people. Walking up to men struggling with loneliness and depression like,
kids, don't be racist.
Incredible. Here's my actual advice I would give to my teen boys as a leftist. 1. Always get enthusiastic consent. 2. Save the planet. 3. Don't say that. It's actually kind of racist. Like, what the f is this? How does this address men and their issues? It doesn't. Why does their advice always seem to be, become a liberal? Hey men, here's how to fix all your problems. Agree with me politically. Men flock to the MRA movement because they're the largest beneficiaries of MRA shit. Imagine saying women flock to women's rights activism because they're the biggest beneficiaries of women's rights. Like, no f***ing shit. Let's be honest. Aside from procreation purposes, men have become obsolete. Most women can find other methods of achieving orgasm without a man there. And speaking as a man, most of us are horrid to be around, and I don't blame any woman for just saying, no thanks.
Whew, we are really up shit creek without a paddle. God, the self-hatred is so real, man. Damn. There are men and women who are horrible to be around. They end up shitty for whatever reason, their environment or their situation or a combination of both. Whatever put them in the situation that they find them in currently, usually that's the case. It's not gender exclusive. Like, why do you not understand this? Honestly, everybody needs a therapist, but these commenters here, they need a team of therapists. They need several therapists assigned to each commentator. It's like just shy of eugenics talk. It's fucking beyond bizarre. Black people inherently do X. Sounds bad, doesn't it? Latino people inherently do X. Sounds bad, doesn't it? White people inherently do X. Doesn't sound great, does it? Men inherently do X. If that doesn't sound bad to you too, then you're doing it wrong, dummy. Y'all need to learn how to view the world in a consistent mindset. Stop trying to rip each other's throats out because of differences that don't lead to worldwide spread issues, like voting. Focus on what makes us the same. God damn, watch the first Pokemon movie, you chug nuts. Christ.
Oh my god, dude, this is what every Just Pearly Things tweet looks like to me. Just with the genders swapped. This is pathetic. You know what fixes male loneliness? Jerking off. As a man, I'll say this. Sit down, shut up, and beat one out. You'll feel better. I promise. Yeah, guys, just beat one out. Just off, just watch porn. Batman will be very disappointed in all of you.
Shoo. I know you know what post-nut clarity is. Hey, Batman may be disappointed in you for beating one out, but beating one out may keep you safe from him beating you up. So, yeah, it's post-nut clarity is real. It's very useful, actually. So, it's not always bad, is what I'm saying. It's good to get that clarity. People aren't really willing to see a therapist, so that's the closest a lot of y'all are gonna end up getting.
It's so funny how men feel entitled to a girlfriend. No, you sexist freak. When one side is like, wanting a girlfriend is sexist entitlement, and the other side is like, here's how to get a girlfriend. I don't know, bro. What happened to males just kicking the bucket? Now they just come on here and try to make their loneliness and misery into some social justice issue. Oh, trust me. Men are still kicking the bucket. And when they're not giving mind-blowing advice like just to be a liberal, they're outright dismissing men's issues completely. It's not our job to educate them. Since men created the problem, they need to take steps to fix it. We have other things to care about. Men can figure out their own problems that they created. Again, it's not women's jobs to change how men are socialized. It's a man issue and y'all need to address that amongst yourselves. Men created their own problems. Men can solve their own problems. The left is busy. Why does the well-being of other people concern me? Leftist, by the way.
Ah, yes. Men created their own problems. Yes. Yeah, totally. I remember being alive in the 1800s and I created my own problems. It feels like it was just yesterday I was walking down the cobbled 1800 streets, of course, thinking, I'll make women objects for me so I can suffer from spite hundreds of years later down the line. Cause you know, I'm a Lich King, apparently. You know, I expect this shit from the right. If you're not Mein Führer color, they really hate you on Twitter, for example. I completely expect them to be shitbag evil. I can log on right now and see black people bad here for the 12,000th time, for the low price of free on Elon Musk's website, and coming soon, Zuckerberg's site. So now that he wants to be Elon Light, which Zuckerberg, you might as well just go ahead and develop that receding hairline, homie. I hate you, but you might as well complete the must set. But the people that claim to care about the well-being of others, amendment by the way, if someone is being a dickhead, I think it's fine to give them the business after trying to be nice to them and help them figure out what the problem is. But if you're deeming someone guilty just based off of physical attributes, you're a dickhead. Talking to you, ladies. Don't matter what gender.
It's all systemic issues and societal factors and blah 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 until it's a man and then suddenly it's pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. This problem is just a consequence of the patriarchy. Now take a wild guess about which gender created the patriarchy. Solve your own problems and leave women alone. These people rightly mock the bootstraps rhetoric until the subject is a man and then it's bootstraps all the way down. They would never talk about any other group this way. It's wild. And it's kind of like both sides are telling men to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, but one is like, I'll show you how, and the other is like, fuck off. And when they're not telling men to straight up fuck off, they're giving the 200 IQ answer that nobody has ever heard before. Just show your emotions, bro. And I'm not dismissing this problem, okay? I've made videos talking about this. Oh, you're crying at your grandfather's funeral? Okay, faggot. And studies have shown that men are scared to be vulnerable, even around the homies. And can you blame them when the media says stupid like this? Fellas, is it woke to open up to your fellow men and discuss history? Men are socialized to believe strength, dominance, and stoicism are behaviors of a real man. Is it any surprise that men are lonely and have less friends nowadays? You have to be vulnerable to make friends. Don't tell me there aren't systemic problems affecting men. Now, while a lot of this may be true, men have been socialized this way for centuries, and this is all relatively a new phenomenon. Toxic masculinity has existed forever. If anything, there's less toxic masculinity nowadays. The cultural embrace of like gender nonconformity, femboys, Harry Styles in a dress, Barbie movie, blah 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 blah. My point is, toxic masculinity did not just appear in the mid-2010s. But social media did, and the internet did, and the rise of dating apps did, and the housing crisis, and living in a country where the wealth inequality is worse than it was during the Gilded Age. That all happened recently. Oh my god, the privileged life these poor little boys must have, that their biggest problem is being lonely, i.e. so insufferable that nobody wants to sleep with them. So much more pressing than the poor distribution of wealth causing people to suffer food and housing insecurity. Boo-hoo, you're lonely and have no friends and are suicidal? Wah. Because feeling alienated under capitalism apparently isn't a thing.
Now, I get these people don't think before tweeting, but you know, you can do both, right? You can get fucked by the system and be lonely and want to delete yourself in part because of those systems pushing you into that direction. They aren't exclusive, and that's what I mean. If it was a race thing this was targeted towards, it would be very cringe to these people, and they'd be right. And so this is stupid when they're pulling the MLK, you know, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. That in and of itself is a dumb jackass position to take. And most of these comments are donkey degree black belts levels of jackassery.
People are working harder and longer while wages have been stagnant. Men have been dropping out of college like flies. And what does that get you? Poor men. Which, since women are doing amazing in college now, and many are now out-earning men, this most of the time leads to single men, which then leads to lonely men, which leads to depressed men, which leads to the high suicide rate. In my opinion, leftism at a policy level does a great job addressing the shitty material conditions that in part lead to the problems that men are facing, but then absolutely drops the ball when it comes to everything and anything related to men's cultural issues. Many such cases. And why would a struggling man even want to move left when the left appears actively hostile to them?
The question of whether or not the hashtag online left does enough to appeal to hashtag men has become the question du jour. And like, men have most of the money, authority, and do most of the murdering and assaulting.
The average young man in America isn't Jeff Bezos. Also, why did this motherfucker just FBI crime statistics at me? Men do the most murder. Okay?
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve. They like that. They want it to stay that way because it suits them. Because of the stuff, telling people they're special and deserve all the nice shit that they have, that's going to be an easier sell 10 times out of 10 than like saying, hey, maybe you should have less stuff and other people should have more.
Leftism is when you don't have a lot of stuff. We're gonna take your stuff. You sound like a 65-year-old Fox News boomer's idea of what the left is. Are you a CIA agent? The right is saying to men, you will own a house. You will have beautiful children with your loving wife. You will have privacy. You will have free speech. You will own things, and you will be happy. And the left is like,
they like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
And therein lies the problem. The right hypes you up before fucking you over and hitting you in the face with a shovel unless you're above a certain tax bracket. The left says, shut the fuck up. Mommy is busy. And she hates you. She'll take care of you, but she will shit on you. Not a porn addiction. I hope.
But don't get me wrong, Republicans will not do shit. The Republican Party will not do shit. The establishment in general will not do shit to help any of this. But the right is, at least rhetorically, offering men something other than nothing or the eternal HR department. Every time this Discord comes up, there's people like, we need a leftist Andrew Tate. We need masculine role models on the left. But the fact is, it's hard for progressives to organically appeal to men, because a large part of progressivism is oppressive hierarchies, and men are oppressors. Making progressivism look appealing to young men is an uphill battle from the start. And although it's funny to laugh at insane people on Twitter, as always, there have been a lot of left-wing content creators talking about men's issues. If you would have told me this would be a thing 9 years ago, I would not believe you, because anyone talking about men's issues back in the day was called an MRA or a pick-me. But lately I have seen a lot of good pro-men lefty content, and I'll put some links to some below. I don't agree with all the points they say, but I recommend watching. It's much better than...
they like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
But the issue is a lot of this lefty pro-men content, it's always framed around, how do we get them? As if men are just pawns and tools for your personal politics. How do we make the left more appealing to men? How do we stop lonely men from moving to Andrew Tate? Instead of just, how do we help men? And I think that's a really big issue. Both sides seem to treat men as political fodder. Disposable soldiers in the culture war and real war. Anyway, misandry is real. Oh good, finally! And while it doesn't systemically affect cis men, it most certainly affects trans men. Oh. Y'all talking about misandry doesn't harm men, and trans men are right there reading this shit, by the way. I see, now we only care about misandry because it affects trans men. Everyone stop! It's affecting a group I care about now. I love how the rhetoric just like evolved overnight from male tears to cis male tears. And I just have to ask, why aren't you including trans men in your misandry,
Nobody told me how lonely being a man is. We knew what depth felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to like have people want to hug us and to have people want to talk to us and to have a community. And then you transition and you're just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that they're not near you. And friendships are so much harder to build. What's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men. All of that's valid. But I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher in men.
Welcome to being a man. Here's your complimentary isolation and yellow pillow. I love how even when he's experiencing the issues of being a man, he's like, this doesn't invalidate people hating men. Come on, bro.
Yeah, Andrew Tate, the new age Rufus from Kim Possible. Nah, that's not right. That's not fair to Rufus at all. But this well-trained and not naked mole rat is scooping your boys up, pause, getting them to buy his courses or whatever bullshit he's selling and converting these poor people into lifelong chuds in his chud army. If you're good as a person that you think you are, you really should care about them in general. Like, they're just lost people. We're all the same. We're all susceptible to all these different stimuli, good or bad. But hey, if you decide on the off chance that you really don't care about them, that is your prerogative. I can't knock you. You're not obligated to care about these people, despite whatever moral grandstanding or moral standing that you may or may not have or may not state. But even if you don't care, the way that these nignogs vote, they will be a problem for everyone, including themselves in the future, because they followed that fat evil motherfucker from Pinocchio and is gonna take us all off the cliff with them. Anyways, that was Shu. This was good to go over. Check her out. She's with some generic dude, so don't even bother shooting your shot. But she makes really good content and raises a lot of really good points. So sub to her, and if substance is what you're after, my little subs, you can get you a little dummy mommy action. All right, I'm out of here. Subscribe and like me, please. It's free. All right, later.
Men struggling don't want to be lectured about the patriarchy. They don't want to be told it's all their fault. They don't want to be told they're part of the problem because, first of all, they're not. The average 20-year-old didn't build society. They go to work, come home, off to sissy hypno fetish porn, and go to bed like everyone else. I've talked about this before, but a lot of men's value comes from the money they make, unfortunately. Men are natural providers, and if they have nobody to provide for, they get into findom or send random girls on the internet money. I'm just kidding, but the fact is, a lot of men simply feel like they don't have a purpose anymore. Whether a job or a career that's fulfilling and pays well, or a woman or family to protect and take care of and provide for, men are lacking purpose. And a man will crawl through broken glass for a purpose. But you know who does make them feel like they have a purpose? No, not him.
I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without value. Society doesn't care about you.
The absolute audacity to act shocked that Andrew Tate is scooping these guys up after a decade of lol male tears is insane. Andrew Tate isn't the solution to men's problems, but he is talking to them. The fact is, you did not care about them for years. And even now you just want to recruit them, not help them. And that's why you will fail. And hey, maybe I'll be the Andrew Tate of the left. Men, listen up. Wash your penis. So I guess I'll leave you guys with a question. Why do you think male loneliness has been increasing? What are your solutions for this problem? And are you dealing with loneliness? And I will see you guys next time with a new video. Bye!